Right, so welcome back guys. We're back on the Ford Mondeo ST220. This is probably going to be the last video you will see on this car. I stuck it through an MOT. It come back with rear discs and pads as an advisory. So I didn't need to put these on, but that I know that these brakes have been done. So what we're doing is I've already done the other side, so I thought I'd bring you along to see this side, see how we're doing, if we come up with any problems. The other side was pretty much straightforward, so hopefully this side's going to be pretty much straightforward as well. So the car is already jacked up. I'm just going to whip these wheel bolts off. And the car is sitting on 2 axle stands and the jack as well, so we've got plenty of support there. Even though we're not going to be going under the car, you don't want this car dropping anyway. So as I say, the car's going to be going up for sale probably this weekend. I'm going to get it cleaned and washed out, valeted, and then it'll be going up for sale. I've got a full 12 months ticket on it now, so the car's going to be advertised for $2,500, and that is cheap for one of these, because one of these in this condition, they're going between £3,000 and £4,000 now, and that's without 12 months MOT. So I can't be fairer than that. I've had people messaging me saying that when I did mention the price of it about last time, what I was asking for it, they were saying it was too low, that you do really need to be in between about the £3,500 mark, people were saying. But as I say, I'm just happy to get back £2,500 for it. I've done a fair bit of work to this car. It's had front discs and pads when I bought it. I bought it with 100,000 on the clock, and the car's actually done 105 now, or 106,000 it's coming up to. And in that time I've done the front brakes and pads. I'm doing the rears now. It had 4 new tyres all round, but I believe the front passenger side may be getting a bit close to the limit, and I believe that was my own fault, because where I don't use it often, the tyre had actually gone down, so it's actually I was running it a bit low of air. But it's still alright for the time being. Done a full service on it. We've done all the plugs, air filters, cabin filters, oil filter. There's been a few other jobs on it. It's had a new starter motor and a few other things. I'll leave a link down below for the playlist, and if you're interested you can have a look at the playlist and see all the stuff that has been done to this vehicle. It's pretty tidy for the year. So let me bring you in here and let's have a look at what's going on here. Right, so these were advisories. The discs are actually alright. Just a bit of surface scabbing around there and there, hardly any lip on that at all. But as you can see, I don't know if you can see, the pads are probably about 1/4 of the way down now. So they're on their last quarter. It was an advisory. I mean, I could still sell it on with like this, but that's not what I'm about. If I'm going to do it, I'd like it to go out the door. Right, so let's get this caliper unbolted. So I'm just going to spray these bolts up. Right, so as you can see, we've got a 13mm bolt here, we've got a 13mm bolt here, and then we've got 2 at the bottom either side. There's one there, and then there's just one just up, just there where my finger is there. So we're going to undo them 4 13mm bolts. I'll come back to you, and just make sure you have got your handbrake off as well when you come to do this, otherwise on these it will clamp your pads to your disc. Right, so we've got the caliper off now. I've just put my winding tool in, so I'm just going to get that set up and we'll get this wound back in again. Right, so I've got my winding tool now, so I'm just winding this caliper back in. There we go, it's going back. There it goes. Not too much effort on this. So I just wind that right back in. And I did just give it a bit of WD-40, so just so it runs a bit nicer. Right, so I think we're pretty much there now. Yeah, that's bottomed out now, so that's all right. We can take our tool out now. And as you can see, that's all it is. That plate just pushes against the back of that, which gives you the push to push the piston in once you wind in the screw. Alright, so I'm going to have this off now. Just give this a bit of a clean with some carb cleaner, brake cleaner. Clean that off, otherwise your wheels can get stuck on them sometimes. So we'll just give that a nice bit of a clean. If they're a bit scabby, you can get a bit of a wire brush on there or a bit of emery paper. Just make it, that one's alright, it's quite a nice hub, that one. And then just recoat it with a bit of fresh copper grease. Just helps in the future for when the next person comes to take the wheel off. It shouldn't hopefully be stuck to this hub then. So there we go. Lovely job. So we can get our new disc now, which is just over here. And these ones are actually painted, so they're not actually covered in oil like they used to be, or the other ones that you can get. Some of them are covered in oil, but these ones are actually a painted disc, so these are alright to go straight on. Otherwise you would see a residue over them if they have the oil on. So now we've got that, we can put our carrier back on. And again, I like to just put a little bit of slip on our two bolts, just so it's easier, as I say, for the next person. Right, so and there we go. So we'll just get our first bolt in, and then our second one will just line up there like that. Now just bringing our brake pads in, there is just one thing to note. There are two types of pads for these ST220s on the rear, and the ones that actually fit this one, I don't know if it's earlier and later ones, but for this is a 2004, they're actually like a pretty much squared off block. The other ones are more of a curve onto them, so this is a square block pad. And again, so as you can see now, that's both pads in, seated on where they need to be. And once you are finished, just do give them a bit of a blast, because you will get your own mucky fingerprints on them, and you just want them nice and clean. You don't want no grease or nothing on your brake pads or discs. So it's just a matter of just knocking that carrier back on there like that. And I think this has had a bit of work in the past, because these things are normally rotted out on these, not just these cars, any cars, normally these rot out, and these are, they look pretty new. And as I say, these don't look that old, these Bosch rear calipers, so I think it has had a bit of a loving around the back end before, not that long ago, regarding the calipers and the shields. So just got to wind these in, and it is not a lot of tools required on this job. It's just 13mm bolts, 4 of them, to remove these calipers, and your 19mm just to do your wheel nuts. So it's really been looked after, this vehicle. I think there's a bit of there is quite a bit of service history, right, regarding receipts of what it's had done, I think, in the glove box, if I remember rightly. I'm not too sure, to be honest with you, but I will be putting that in the ad once I do an ad up for it. So I probably might just stick it on eBay, so keep an eye out for it. It will be going with a private plate. Right then, so I'm going to get this wheel back on now. You have to bear the wind noise a bit, I'm afraid. So I did put a bit of copper slip on all them studs as well, so just when we do come to wind the wheel bolts in, they're nicely lubricated. So put our locking wheel nut on first, So it's only a quick little fast blast video, this one. Just thought I'd bring you along, because it'll say this is probably the last video you will see of the ST220 really. Well, any work being done on it anyway. So the only thing, it just wants a couple of, it wants a really good polish really, and a couple of the wheels have got a bit of lacquer peel on them, because you can see they're these polished faces, so they just want a slight rub down and a re-lacquer. The internals of the spokes, they're fantastic, they look good as new them, but it's just the faces getting a bit of lacquer peel, getting a bit old and tired, but it's not a big job. I say a quick wet sand and a polish up, then just hit them with a bit of 2K lacquer just to protect them, to keep that shine there, and you'll be well away. Give that a quick nip up, and then once we've got it back on the floor, we'll just tighten them up. That should pull that wheel back where it wants to be, and that is pretty much the job done. So I'm going to put it back on the floor now. We'll tighten these wheel nuts up, and then that'll be Mondeo maintenance work done. All it will be needing then is a bit of a wash and a valet. I say it's been sitting about, we'll get it up for sale. So if any of you are interested, I know I've had a few people interested, but you seem to just want to know what the price is, and then you don't get back to me. So the price is now £2.5 grand, full MOT on it. Rear brakes and pads have just been done because they was advised on the MOT, and I just say it will want a front tyre in a few thousand miles, but I wanted to get this done. It is pretty much standard, this Mondeo. The only thing it has got different in it is it's got a K&N air filter, but I believe I might have a standard original air box. If you do want it to come with the car, I can dig it out. If not, it'll be on the standard K&N. But I say if you want the original, let me know, and I'll have a look for it, because I didn't put that on. That actually come with the car, but I did, I think, but I do believe I did source an original one when I first bought the vehicle, because I was going to put it back to original, but I just never got round to it. Right then folks, so that is the job done now on this full Mondeo ST220. That is the rear brakes and discs done. Pretty straightforward. You can have that done in an hour on this. Not bad at all really, quicker than I expected. So I'm happy now, the car's good to go. I'll give it a little test run around the block at the weekend. I can't do that now because I've just got to nip off and sort something out. So at the weekend it'll be getting cleaned, valeted, and put up for sale. So if you are interested, it'd be £2.5 grand, full 12 months ticket on it. Had a service at 100, I think it was 100 or 101k, and it's at about 100, coming up to 106 now. So it's done about 5,000 miles since its last service. Check out the playlist. I'll leave that down below for the ST220, and you can see what's been done to it and what work has been done, and go from there. So until next time, we'll see you about.